I do want to keep you guys up to date on what's going on with the charts, and I do want to get a quick video out to you today because I have not been able to get enough videos out, and there's so much I want to talk about. So hopefully today we could just dive in super quick and go over some things, because I think Gary Gensler, you know how he's been getting totally destroyed lately in the media, and a breaking video, just, you can see right here, we kind of had that test there. We came back up, right? Retested this, and now we're attempting to push down. So if we do end up losing this upward sloping trend, we are looking at that next support at around 27,000. But remember, guys, we had said that there was that possibility of coming all the way back down and basically retesting even down to this area right here, right? Because this is where we had that terror.
Bitcoin is melting right now, no doubt about that. In the past 4 days alone, as you can see in this print screen from TradingView, it dropped from the 30,000 resistance level to now around 27,000, making it a 10% quick drop that most people were not expecting. Even though we had multiple videos in the channel from Gareth Soloway calling the bear market was not over, some people in the comments were sure it was and that Bitcoin was going up non-stop. In this video, we will have a quick analysis from CryptoZombie on what's happening to Bitcoin and where it is heading, so you can prepare for what's coming and protect your money. If you don't know who CryptoZombie is, you should check his YouTube channel later. Even though he seems less popular than Gareth, his content is fire, especially his technical analysis and predictions. So check out what he has to say about this drop in Bitcoin.
As you guys can see, Bitcoin is around that $28,000 level. We are pushing down, and we were expecting this, right? There is a lot of resistance at this area, right? We're basically looking at an area where we had support, and then once we fell below it, it actually became resistance, and you can see right here, it acted as resistance again. So we are having that rejection. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk about today. Going back over here, guys, you can see that we're attempting, at least today, for the most part, we work, let me go to the lower time frame, actually, and you can see what I'm talking about. You can see right here, we kind of had that test there. We came back up, right? Retested this, and now we're attempting to push down. So if we do end up losing this upward sloping trend, we are looking at that next support at around 27,000. But remember, guys, we had said that there was that possibility of coming all the way back down and basically retesting even down to this area right here, right? Because this is where we had that Terra Luna wick, and we never really got back above it, right? So there is that possibility that we come down to around that 26,000. And also, you know, the CME futures gap, which, hold on, guys, I don't actually remember. Here we go, right here. This right here, you can see we're falling back into it. But, you know, let me know what you guys think about this down here, because we actually had a gap that we closed, but then we ended up reopening, you know, a new gap after closing the previous gap. So really odd. I don't know really how to take that. Does that mean that Bitcoin has to come all the way down to 19,000? I'm going to just say that I don't know this. I don't know this time, guys. I'm not that sure. But one thing that I can tell you is that if we look at Sentiment alone, you can see that they have addresses with 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin added back 20K BTC in just the past 2 days. And they're saying back over 20% of supply held. So obviously, somebody is interested in buying at these levels. We're seeing actual accumulation. Of course, we have seen some selling as well, some distribution, but there is definitely accumulation.
In his latest video, he also goes through a topic that concerns most crypto investors regarding Ethereum and whether it should be considered a commodity or a security. Recently, Chairman McHenry asked Gary Gensler this question, and this was his answer.
Ether is one of the most popular digital assets and powers the Ethereum blockchain. Back in 2018, then SEC Corporation Finance Director Bill Hinman stated that he believed Ether was not a security. Last month, CFTC Chair Benham expressed his view that Ether is a commodity. The State Attorney General of New York asserted in a court filing last month that Ether is a security. Clearly, an asset cannot be both a commodity and a security. Do you agree?
Actually, all securities are commodity under the Commodity and Exchange Act. It's that we are excluded commodities, but I would agree that a security cannot be also an excluded commodity and an included commodity. I'm sorry, Chair, just to talk about the Commodity Exchange Act more precisely.
Okay, so do you recognize, how would you categorize Ether then?
Look, I think that the general sweep of what Congress did, not just in the 30s, but as amended
I'm
over
asking you,
years,
sitting in your chair now, to make an assessment under the laws as exist. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
without speaking to any one.
I know you've
token,
repeatedly
it's
said
a
you're not
matter
going to
of
speak to
facts.
one, except you've spoken to one, Bitcoin. So I'm asking you to speak to a second one, the second largest market cap here.
And speaking to the tokens, there's 10 to 12,000. If there's a group of entrepreneurs in the
I'm asking
middle
about
that
one.
the public is anticipating a profit based on the...
I'm asking you a specific question, Chair Gensler. I said this in private. This should be no shock to you. I'm asking this question. Is Ether a commodity or a security?
And again, it depends on the facts and the law, and if there's a group of individuals...
I'm asking you about the
in
facts and the
middle.
law sitting in your seat and the judgment you are making.
And so, Mr. Chair, I think you would not want me to prejudge because I'm also...
But you have
aware-
prejudged on this. You've taken 50 enforcement actions. We're finding out as we go, as you file suit, as people get Wells notices on what is a security in your view, in your agency's view. I'm asking you a very simple question about the second largest digital asset. What is your view?
And my view is if there's a group of individuals in the middle that the public is
All
anticipating...
right, so let me just ask a second question then. Do you think it serves the market for an object to be viewed by the commodities regulator as a commodity and the securities regulator to be viewed as a security? Do you think that provides safety and soundness for the product? Do you think it provides consumer protection? Do you think it serves the value of innovation? I think no should be a very simple answer for you here.
I think
That uncertainty is bad, is it not?
And I think that Congress has said that there's one agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, under this committee.
And you won't answer my question, and you're the head of that agency. So give me a break. Come on.
I'm answering it in the generic because you would not want me to speak about any one set of facts and circumstance.
Okay, so, but you've already spoken. Have you said anything about Bitcoin?
My predecessors and the agency itself has spoken to them.
Okay,
Yes.
but you're not willing to do the same about Ether.
I think
Okay,
that-
so let me just step back. There's a lack of clarity here in the marketplace. Can you at least agree to that?
I think that the clarity is there. The law is clear that
All right.
if there's a group
So
of
let me
individuals you're
be
relying
explicit about this. The market doesn't see it. Your regulatory actions and the CFTC's regulatory actions say that there's a great deal of uncertainty here. It is the intention of this committee to fix that uncertainty and actually provide a sound legal basis for this.
And he keeps avoiding the questions. This looks ridiculous, right? And now Chairman McHenry asks his second question.
Let me just
profit
ask a
based
second
on those
question then.
efforts.
Do you think it serves the market for an object to be viewed by the commodities regulator as a commodity and the securities regulator to be viewed as a security? Do you think that provides safety and soundness for the product? Do you think it provides consumer protection? Do you think it serves the value of innovation? I think no should be a very simple answer for you here.
I think
That uncertainty is bad, is it not?
And I think that Congress has said that there's one agency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, under this committee.
And you won't answer my question, and you're the head of that agency. So give me a break. Come on.
I'm answering it in the generic because you would not want me to speak about any one set of facts and circumstance.
Crypto Zombie also shares in his video an older lecture Gary Gensler did in 2019, this time saying Ethereum is security.
Gary Gensler says Ethereum is not a security. Now, this is from a lecture in 2019. We know that he was teaching some crypto classes or something. I believe it was MIT. I'm not really familiar on Gary's background, but we know that he was discussing this. And you could see that back then, this is what he had to say.
Vitalik wanted to raise money. He was maybe 19 years old. He looped in with a venture capitalist from Canada, Joe Lubin, who now runs Consensus. Lubin took about 10% or 9.5% of the offering. They put 9.5% in a foundation called the Ethereum Foundation, and the other 80% was sold to the public for $18 million. We'll talk later in the semester as to whether that was really a securities offering. I publicly said I think so, but that was in 2014, and in 2018, the Securities and Exchange Commission has said, regardless of what it might have been in 14, it's now sufficiently decentralized that we'll consider it not a security.
So he literally admits that it's not a security, and yet in the recent hearings, he cannot admit that. And the problem is that you have this one guy who's basically running an entire industry, and he's really starting to piss a lot of people off. I mean, you could see how Trust Nodes just breaks this down. Due to the mere opinion of Gensler, a $16 billion stablecoin BUSD had to shut down. Kraken now cannot offer staking services to any US citizen that earns less than $100,000, while Coinbase has seen its stock suffer because Cowboy Gensler would rather send Wells notices than issue rulings through due process. Despite numerous enforcement actions towards crypto, Gensler has not issued one regulation, not one policy statement, has made zero rulings, whatever, on any aspect of crypto at all, and the SEC therefore is run based on the opinions of this one man rather than an institution with public input and public accountability. And oh wow, guys, I don't know if you've seen this one right here, but we have to play these two back to back.
Chairman Gensler, many times before Congress, most recently in September of 2022, you stated your belief that the vast majority of digital assets are securities. Yet in February 2023, you stated everything other than Bitcoin is a security. In March of 2023, in a March of 2023 op-ed, you changed your tune slightly and asserted that most digital assets are securities. If your own view has continually evolved on these statements, how can you assert that the law is clear on the issue if you yourself have vacillated on it?
I'm going to reclaim my time and move on to something else. You said earlier in another line of questioning that the players in the digital asset space don't have a choice, that they have to comply with the rules. But once again, Congress has never given you a framework for regulating digital assets. Where are you pulling that one from?
With all respect, sir, we disagree on this.
Oh, I can see we disagree a lot, Chairman, because we're not giving you authority. You're just taking it. I think that's part of the issue right now.
With all respect, Congress painted with a broad brush when they set up the SEC, and I quote Thurgood Marshall, which is one of the greatest.
Congress painted with a broad brush in 1933 and 1934, not in 2023. We've not touched that. It's a new industry. One last quick question. I think it might have came up. You were Hillary Clinton's CFO in the campaign, right?
It's part of my history.
Were you? Yes or no?
In 2016.
Did you facilitate the payment for the Steele dossier since you were CFO of the Hillary Clinton campaign?
Sir.
Yes or no?
Sir.
Yes or no?
That was not.
You're under oath, Chairman Gensler. Yes or no?
I know. It was not something I was aware of.
It hurts so much to see, right? With all the mess that's going on in Gary Gensler's head, and given that he has all the power to enforce actions on crypto companies, but is not able to create proper regulation, the US seems to be falling behind in the digital assets run while other countries are doing this.
He says other countries are starting to recognize the opportunity and are springing into action. CoinFund just sent a team to Hong Kong. It's buzzing right now. Government officials are actually going to conferences and encouraging adoption at this point in Hong Kong as they open back up. Meanwhile, MiCA has arrived in the UK and it's springing into action. And you can see right here, Hong Kong court recognizes crypto as property, making the first time such decision regarding digital assets has been made in the city-state. And then we have MiCA bill, which wins a landslide vote to install crypto licensing rules across Europe. 517 legislators voted in favor of the new broad crypto licensing regimen that will allow crypto service providers to operate regulated digital asset businesses across the EU. 38 lawmakers opposed the bill, while 18 legislators abstained from declaring support, as Europe becomes the first major jurisdiction to publish crypto regulations. But then we come back here to the US, who's supposed to be leading the race. I mean, we're already starting to lose that superpower, narrative over here, right? We're seeing countries moving away from the dollar, and now we're going to come in and protect investors by, where was the protection on Celsius or FTX or BlockFi? But no, let's find Kraken, right? Let's find Kraken 30 million. And you just said that Ethereum was not a security in a 2019 lecture. I mean, come on, guys. How is this man still in power?
This takes us to Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, whose company is now being attacked just like Binance from CZ, to interview about what's happening and how, even though he had over 30 meetings with regulators by now, and how they never gave proper feedback on what to do, leading to Brian thinking about investing more outside the United States.
Surprisingly, Hong Kong is actually leading a bit in terms of getting that regulatory clarity. And just zooming out, we're actually seeing really good regulatory clarity emerge in Europe with the MiCA legislation. You know, here in the UK, I've been meeting with top government officials, and there seems to be strong movement towards a stablecoin bill. You know, we're seeing some of that in Singapore and other countries around the world. So I think that's really positive, and basically that's the big thing that'll unlock growth in crypto is we need that regulatory clarity. We actually need more of that in the US. The US is a little bit behind on this, and certain regulators are taking more of a regulation by enforcement approach, which is not helping.
Let's talk about the SEC a little bit. They issued you a Wells notice not too long ago. Have you got more clarity on precisely what the SEC is worried about right now?
Unfortunately, no. You know, we've met with them over 30 times in the last year. And then, of course, you know, they allowed us to go public. As an S1, we filed and had many in-depth conversations with them about our business. But even over the last the last year, we had 30 meetings. Never got a single piece of feedback from them about what we could be doing better or differently. And then this Wells notice arrived. And so it's really unfortunate. I think we're going to have to actually end up going to court to get the clarity we need and create that case law. It's an abdication of responsibility. I mean, the regulator's job is to publish a clear rule book and allow that market to be safe, but also to flourish in that country. And I think they've completely abdicated responsibility.
Investors are worried that this could turn out to be a years-long battle. We've seen with Ripple, for example, and the SEC, this has been going on for some time. Are you prepared for a battle with the SEC of this kind of length?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, we never seek litigation, but it seems in this case that they have initiated it. And if we need to get the courts to get the clarity that we need, then we're very prepared to do that. I think the law is on our side, and the SEC has to follow rule of law. I think their actions would not be sympathetic to a jury, and so we're very prepared for this. We're going to court to win, just to be clear. I think we have a very strong case, and that's exactly what we intend to do.
So what do you think? Will Bitcoin keep falling apart, breaking the current support? Was Gareth Soloway always right when he was calling Bitcoin's 9K coming soon? And what about this whole mess with regulation? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe if you want to see more fire content like this. Maybe we can bring more crypto zombie content to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow for more Daily Crypto.